Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. In this video, I'm going to be hydrojetting a kitchen drain. This will be the second kitchen drain that I have hydrojetted on the channel. The great thing about this job opposed to the other one is that since there's a crawl space, you're going to get a visual representation of what plumbing drainage pipes looks like underneath the slab underneath the house. One thing I'm also going to do on this job is I'm going to cut in a cleanout just underneath the sink in the crawl space because the cleanout is not really accessible inside the cabinet in the kitchen. So what we'll do now is look at our setup. Alright, so this is our setup here. We have the kitchen that comes down. There's a Y for a dishwasher. I've never seen a dishwasher hooked up like this, but it comes down. There's a Y, there's a cleanout right there, and then it continues all the way down. So what I'm going to do is we'll take out the cleanout here. We'll put the camera and see what the condition of the pipe is. I'm expecting, at least for now, the grease will be in this area back here. So with that in mind, what we'll do now is material and tools. Alright, this is the materials and tools list for this job. So to start out with the materials, latex gloves, because I'm going to cut in a cleanout at the far end. 1.5 ABS cleanout, ABS glue. For tools, I have my DIY hydrojetter kit. Guys, check out the description if you want to know how I built this thing. So it's going to be the pressure washer, high pressure hose, container for water, a garden hose, a hacksaw to cut in the cleanout, my micro sea snake camera, a work light, a couple extension cords. One will be for the pressure washer, the other one will be for the work light. And then my finishing kit on the far right. So channel lock, pliers, flashlight. We'll see if there's anything else I'm going to need on this job. Guys, this is the materials and tools list for this job. So let's get this kitchen sink back up and running. Alright, so we have our one cleanout there. So from the cleanout here to the very end of the run, which is the 4-inch cleanout, it looks about 16 or 18 feet, but we'll take this cleanout off, cover, and see what we find. And if we have water dripping, that is our indication of stagnant water. So it is better to just unscrew the cap a little bit and let it slowly drain out than have a geyser. Alright, so we have a coupling here. There is a cleanout upstairs, but it's in a really tight cabinet, and I think it's just easier to be able to clean out from down here. That is why I'm going to put in a line cleanout down here as a substitute for the one upstairs. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut out the coupling, and then that will be the space I need for the cleanout. And then the cleanout, I'm going to have it pointed this way because there's more space to get to it. I fully expect this to be covered, or sorry, full of grease. And you can see how much grease has built up inside. So with a big flathead screwdriver, remove what I can. Okay, so for the cleanout, you want it to be, if you draw a line across the center, you want it to be above. You don't want it to be like this because everything will just fall down into it when you go clean it. Give it a spin and then make sure, like I said, that the top is towards the high side. You can see that this has been added in later because the glue here is yellow and the glue down there is black. And this house is from the 80s. When dealing with a slow draining sink, when you go to crack the cleanout cap, make sure that you only crack it and don't open it all the way. As you can see, the amount of water that is being pushed out because of the weight of the water from the blockage downstream. If you open it up too much, you're just going to make a big mess, and you want to avoid, especially when you have grease and other stuff inside the pipe. Alright, so I have my micro inspection camera. I'll put it on the inside. So you can see here on the sides, it is just, it's full. The amount of water is an indication that it is a pretty good blockage. Alright, so it's my jetter here. Alright, I'm going to ballpark about 16 feet. How am I going to do this? Every length that I put in, I'm going to count roughly a foot. Alright, so I'll turn the valve on, and that's going to send water. And now we'll go take a look where the water, how far it's going down. Okay, we can see that the water is flowing through the main cleanout here. This is a 4-inch cleanout. So now the pressure washer can be turned on. I think the nozzle is somewhere in here. Once it gets going, I'm gonna see if I can push it in deeper. Otherwise, put this back on so I don't have a geyser in here. Now with this blockage, the grease seems to be a soft paste type of grease. You can get two different types, either a soft type or a hard type. I think the hard type is older grease that's been in the pipe for an extended period of time. It'll turn into a rock type consistency. So for the technique that I'm going to use here, I put the jetter head through the blockage. I confirm this with the water flowing through the cleanout. So from the very back of the blockage, I'm going to pull the jetter head back towards the cleanout where I have entered through here, where you see on screen. So the jetter head has 4 nozzles going backwards, 1 going forwards. So doing a scrubbing type of motion back and forth and spinning the jetter, the idea is to break up all the grease, and it's going to flow down towards the 4-inch cleanout out towards the city. If you have a really bad blockage and you can't get all the way through it, this is when you're going to have water coming back through the cleanout. So to gauge how far you are down the pipe, as you pull the jetter hose back, you're just going to count off the length. So I'm just going to call it 1 foot for every pullback, and then you'll have an idea of how much you have left. When you have water starting to come out of the cleanout, that is when you know that the jetter head is close to the cleanout. So there's a little bit of grease there. I'm assuming this is the bottom of the pipe here. So there's a little bit left, but I think it's relatively acceptable. So there's 1 chunk of grease right there. It's a small one, it's not a big one. But this seems to be relatively okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll put the pressure washer down. We'll come back down this run here. I'll put the cap back in there. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll get the jetter up to here, and then I'm gonna keep pulling it back. I think what I'll do is I'll put the jetter down first. We'll make sure that we see here, and then I'll put the cap back in. Okay, so we see the jetter here right in the middle of the cleanout. So I'm going to push it a little bit further down until I hit this fitting, and then I'm gonna put the cap back into here, and then rinse and repeat, and then we'll pull back until water starts coming out of the other cleanout. Alright, so I put the jetter past the cleanout till I hit the next fitting, and now it's going to be a rinse and repeat. So I'll know when the jetter head is close to the cleanout when water starts coming out of the open cleanout. So one great thing about watching a video on drain cleaning is that you can't smell anything. The grease smells terrible, and you will notice the typical smell of grease when you do this a few times. Now this portion here seems to be, I guess, more backed up, which I guess would make sense because it's closer to the sink. The amount of grease that is coming out on the actual jetter hose makes the jetter hose hard to grab. The grease is like a lubricant, so if you need to, you can always wipe the jetter hose as you're pulling it out with a paper towel to make it easier to grab onto. So these cleanouts are called line cleanouts, at least that's what we call them here. They offer two-way rotting, which means that you can either go to the left or to the right. You can also have a Y with a cap on the branch, and that'll allow one-way rotting. That is where you're going to see something just above a slab or on a vertical section. But the good thing about a line cleanout is that it allows you to go both ways. So for this cleanout here, I'm going down to the left. Once I pull the the jetter out, I'll go up the other way to clean up the vertical portion. And here you can see water is starting to come out of the cleanout, which means the jetter head is very close to the end. You can also see the big chunks of grease on the jetter hose itself. You may have to do this more than once. It all depends on how bad the blockage is. Alright, so the light on the micro camera is completely off. The light that you see here is the flashlight at the other cleanout. Since I can see the light from the other cleanout, this is now acceptable. This is a rudimentary way to check, but keep in mind that this is also on a straight shot. That's why this method works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up just a few feet up the other end and then clean out this area here. Alright, so I've sent the hydrojetter up maybe about 3 feet. It doesn't need to be much. And then I'm going to do the same thing. When water starts coming out of the cleanout here, that's when I'll know that the end of the hydrojetter is really close. So once again, it'll be go back and forth and spin the jetter hose as you go. Make sure that you have a bucket underneath to catch any grease or anything else that falls out from the cleanout. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go upstairs, and then we're going to fill the sink full of water, and we're going to see how well it flows. I am optimistic that this is going to be okay. This was soft grease, so it wasn't too bad to get out. We'll go up and take a look. So whoever did the sink install, what they did here was they used a 1.5-inch slip adapter, and then they put the slip adapter portion onto a Street 45. I've never seen this done like this before. I mean, I guess it's the first time for everything. Otherwise, for test, I would recommend, whether you have 1 or 2 compartments for the sink, fill it all the way to the very top and then release either one or both compartments at the same time. All the loose grease inside the pipe now can be washed down. So do this probably twice. And it doesn't hurt if you have just hot water going down to break up the grease as well. But this will be critical for your test to make sure that the line is clear, and then to get rid of any of the loose debris, you can flush it down to the city by doing a massive volume of water. But with that in mind, what we'll do now is read this job. Alright guys, so that concludes this job. So this job went really smoothly. Everything went well. This house is from the 80s, so the kitchen drain is 1.5 inches. Nowadays it's 2 inch. It's a little bit harder to get through, but you shouldn't have any problems. What I would suggest is go as far down as you can. Now, because this is a crawl space and you have an idea by looking at it how far you need to go, I'd say do at least 25 feet minimum. And if you still have a problem, go deeper down. The thing is about 25 feet for a house, you're going to hit probably a bigger pipe by then, so that would be a good gauge to go off of. I actually have a piece of tape at 25 feet, so I can see how far I've gone down. And then I also recommend go as far as you can and then start from the back and pull your way forward. Since the jets on the nozzle are pointed towards the back, it'd be better to start from the very end and then work your way back towards the cleanout that you've entered through. The time on this job. The time was about 2 hours. Now, I'm going to ballpark a 2 hour minimum. At least that's what I tell people. It'll be a half hour to get set up, a half hour to get cleaned up, and then an hour to hydrojet. When you test the sink, that is going to tell you what the result, what the condition of the sink is in. Now, because I only have a micro sea snake, it doesn't make sense to start adding many lengths of cable to increase the length of the camera. You can do this, but it gets pricey fairly quickly. So I would say on your test, that is going to how you're going to gauge the condition of your drain. The cost of this job. To clean out the gloves, the cost was about $10. Since I already had the hydrojetter all set up ready to go, this is going to be a rinse and repeat system. You already have your initial investment and then you're just going to repeat the process. But otherwise, at the time of this recording, the one reputable company that I will refer people to, they told me that $385 an hour is their drain cleaning rate, and of course that is hourly. So with that in mind, this entire setup, the first time that you've done this job, you've already paid off your investment. You can turn this into a side hustle as long as you have space to store and you're able to do this on a relatively consistent basis, as in once every few months, you should be fine. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope what I've shown you here and the information I've given you will give you a better idea on how to either maintain your kitchen sink drain, how to keep grease out of your drain, and if you have to deal with this issue, how to go ahead and tackle this on your own. Guys, till next time, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.